Today we are filming again and we're doing a promo video for Sunnyside House. So while we're waiting for one of our interviewees to arrive, which is something that you will have to do when you're on set quite a lot, we might want to talk a little bit about gaining corporate clients and gaining exposure in a corporate environment. How do you do it? How do you get noticed? How do you create quality content that people will then go, this is really good, let me recommend this person? And the short answer to that is it takes time. It takes time to build up your style. It takes time to develop the creative ideas and input that you need to kind of attract people that you're looking for at that level. So at the moment we've been working with clients at all different levels, from individuals who have their own businesses to organizations such as the NHS, to small businesses that are running their own teaching online educational video content. And I think the key to it is just maintaining a high standard and quality. It's easy sometimes to feel that I'm not getting paid enough for this, so I'm not going to put the time, I'm not going to put the effort, the work in to make it look really polished because it's not worth it for me. But that's really short-sighted. That's a short-term thing. If you don't invest more than what you're getting paid for, you're never going to be able to attract those clients that are going to pay you more for the quality that you are putting out there. So one of the recommendations I would say is do more than what you get paid for initially, and then even, you know, as you're learning and growing and getting that skill level up there, continue to invest in your equipment, continue to invest in, you know, yourself. So learning, constantly putting yourself out there and learning stuff. YouTube has so much free content that you can take and digest and learn from, and then, you know, just look at how other people have made things and go, right, how can I get to that level? How can I produce content as good, or if not better, than this individual who's working for clients who might be multi-million-dollar companies? Second thing that I would recommend is keeping your prices competitive. Now you might be thinking, how do I know if my prices are competitive or not? And ideally you want to be winning about 1/3 of the jobs that you bid on. If you're winning more than 1/3, then your prices are probably too low, and if you're winning less than 1/3, then your prices are probably too high. And you want to kind of find a happy medium that people are happy to pay. And some clients will be willing to pay a lot more than others, and that doesn't mean you should just refuse that lower amount for a small client, because you don't know what opportunities that could bring in the future. You could do a really decent price for someone who's starting up their own company, a startup or an entrepreneur who's got like a product that he wants to sell, and you might not necessarily make a lot of money, but the connections that that person has can then lead on to more opportunities. They could recommend you to someone else who does have the funds that are worth it. So don't necessarily just turn down things. Obviously you have to weigh up the cost yourself. How much time is this going to take? How much resource am I going to have to put into this? How much is the hire of my equipment for the day? You know, can I give them a discount at the beginning, and then later on, if more work comes through, perhaps strike a deal where you are making more, and eventually being able to live off of that sum in the future. And that kind of brings me on to my third point. If you're doing this as a hobby, which is exactly what I did, I started doing it as a hobby and it's kind of progressed into a career. How do you make the initial jump? How do you go from, right, this is what I'd like to do as a job, but I just do it as a hobby? Maybe you're doing a friend's wedding and you think, this is really fun, this is cool, I'd love to do this kind of stuff for work, but then you might be scared. You might think, well, it's not going to make me enough money. So what you can do is just work at it part-time. Maybe spend a couple of hours a week just honing your skills and trying to find jobs. Put an hour aside a day to try and find clients. Go on websites like People Per Hour or freelancing websites and try and look for those opportunities. And initially they might not pay a lot, but what you're doing is you're starting to build a portfolio. You're putting together a portfolio that you can show to people, and then eventually maybe drop down to a 4-day week at work, which is what I did. Work more on what you want to do and hone your creativity working for clients, small clients at first, just to build up this portfolio, and then perhaps consider going to a 2-day week, which again is what I did. And then eventually I made the jump from working in a totally unrelated market, which was research and design for electronics to moving into the creative industry, working as a videographer, animator part-time for a company, and then freelancing half of the week on what I wanted to do and working for this other company, but still doing creative video work for them the other half of the week. So I think it's a gradual process. It takes time, as we said at the beginning. It's something that you really want to, it's a skill that you really want to develop over time, and just keep putting quality into it and bringing value to all the things that you make. And that way you can attract customers, you can attract clients you really want to give you an income that you can live off of.